Scores to the website. So, evaluation system. On our courses, we've got 3 modules of 12 weeks. So we've got Module 1, Module 2, Module 3. They've all got 12 weeks. We've got different combinations on our courses. So we've got 100% face-to-face. We've got face-to-face plus the online course. And we've got telephone plus the online course. We've got virtual classes plus the online course. And then we've got individual classes. One-to-ones. Okay, so the 100% face-to-face and the individual classes don't have online courses. Okay, so let's have a look at the different combinations. So inputting your scores for the combination of 100% face-to-face or virtual classes plus online, or face-to-face plus online. Okay, this is the majority of our courses. So in Module 1, you are expected to have scored your students on both themes in Module 1 out of 10, and this score is for their participation in the classroom. Okay, so it's a continual assessment score. At the end of the module, you're also expected to score them on speaking, so their oral skills. Again, this is continual assessment. It's not a test that you give them at the end. It's really you grading them on their speaking skills that you've noted throughout the module. And then they've got 2 writing tasks that they should have completed, and they're also scored out of 10. So those are in green, those are the ones that you have to input into the website. The partial test, at the end of each module, they have to do an online test. That is a score that we will input, and then there's the online completion rate of the online course. So if they're doing an online element, then they get scored on that. And you've got to be aware that that contributes to the continual assessment, and if they don't do any work online, then they will fail the course. So it's really important that you encourage them to do that work. So, telephone plus online. In Module 1, you have 4 themes or units to score out of 10 for participation. So that's how they are participating on the telephone classes. You've also got 4 writing tasks. Again, they're out of 10. And then you've got to score at the end of the module, the same as the face-to-face classes. You've got to give them a continual assessment score on their general performance in speaking. Okay, so those are the scores that you have to introduce to the website. The partial test, that's the online test that they do at the end of each module, we will input that, and then you've also got the online completion rates, so that's how much of the online course they've done, and again we will introduce that. But just remember that if they don't do this part, the online part, then they are not completing half of the course, and then they will fail. So we really need to get their completion rates up. It's very important to encourage them to do this. For individual classes, so one-to-one classes, each module there will be 2 scores for participation on the 2 themes that you've been covering, or objectives, and then you've got 2 scores for writing, and again you're to give them a score for their speaking skills. That's again a continual assessment score. Okay, that's all. They're not to do exams at the end of each module, and there isn't an online element. Okay, so if we look at progress reports, so we're trying to make things easier for you. After you've input all these scores, and once the scores have been input by us, the admin department, for the online completion and the partial tests, then there's an early assessment that you need to go in and write a paragraph about each student, and then the final assessment you will need to go in and do the same. there'll be a drop down for the final assessment. There'll be a drop down window allowing you to automate some of the text, okay, and you can personalize it at the end. Okay, let's have a quick look at the website now. Okay, so here I am logged in as a teacher. So I go to my attendance, and I go to my courses. I click through into my class as if I were going to do my attendance. So I scroll down and look, there's my attendance. So yeah, it's not up to date. But there, above the attendance, there is a new section called scoring module. Okay, so here you've got different buttons: M1, early, M2, final, M3. Okay, for introducing your scores, you go to M1 for module 1. If you're introducing your scores for module 2, it would be M2 for module 2, or M3 for module 3. The early and the final are the actual assessment reports. So those are for your for generating the individual progress reports. So let's go into M1 and I can show you what it looks like in here. So here you can see you can introduce your scores for your students just by punching them in. No decimal points, please. Remember, if your students haven't been coming to class and you don't feel you can grade them on participation, give them a 0. This is also the case with the writing tasks. If they haven't done the writing tasks and they don't appear to be doing anything online, again, give them a 0. Don't leave the text blank. But here you have it. So you click in and you've got your teacher's comments. Now, you should write in English and you should write at least 25 characters. What you're wanting to do here is a personalized comment which is relevant to their progress. Okay, so I'm not going to add anything here, but I'm going to show you up above what I've written here. You see, you have made good progress this module. You have worked hard in class and it shows. Okay, so that's a nice general comment at the beginning. You do a good job of listening to yourself and correcting your own mistakes. Well done. You do a good job of listening for the general idea of a text as well as listening for details. So there's a little bit about speaking and listening. And then at the end, you should be sure to come to class punctually every day. Okay, maybe this person has been arriving a little bit late. And be sure to keep an eye on your pronunciation of TR. Okay, so some good points and then maybe some constructive criticism as well. Okay, and that's it really. So then you just go down, clicking on Assess the Student, opening it up, and then cutting and pasting or typing in to the text block. Okay, thanks very much.